Welcome to a meeting of your Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Representing District 1, Harry Cohen. Representing District 2, Ken Hagan. Representing District 3, Gwen Myers. Representing District 4, Christine Miller. Representing District 5, Donna Cameron Cepeda. Representing District 6, Chris Bowles. Representing District 7, Joshua Wostel. The County Administrator is Bonnie Wise. The County Attorney is Christine Beck. Time is set aside at the beginning of each meeting for citizens to speak on any issue. So we have time for everyone. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Today's meeting is brought to you with closed captioning by Hillsborough Television.
Good morning and welcome to the January 15th, 2025 regularly scheduled board meeting in the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Would everyone please rise for the pledge and invocation given by our chaplain, Commissioner Gwen Myers.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you thanking you for the year that you have blessed us to see, 2025. And as we begin this year, Father, we know that in New Orleans there were horrific accidents of 14 lives being lost. And Father, you sent your darling son to California where there are wildfires that is so devastating right now. And we ask that you would bless both states and those who were affected. And Father, as a special blessing for our former county administrator, Pat Bean, who lost her life, we ask that you would give that family the peace and understanding during their time of bereavement. I ask that you would bless our county and all of our workers who are doing your will in your way. Now, Lord, bless this meeting in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Before we introduce the first proclamation, I want to point out that Commissioner Bowles is under the weather today and will be participating virtually. And with that, we have one proclamation to be presented by Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. And Commissioner.
Thank you. Would the following individuals please join me at the podium? Charles Klug of Port Tampa Bay, Chair of the Commission on Human Trafficking of Hillsborough County, Detective Tony Aguiar of Tampa Police Department, Member, Commission on Human Trafficking, and all other members of the Commission on Human Trafficking. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Hillsborough County is fully committed to winning the war against human trafficking. Each year, we get stronger and make deeper inroads. This is an issue I'm deeply passionate about as a member of the Commission on Human Trafficking. Our community partners work tirelessly to help the brave survivors of this terrible crime recover, move forward, and become victors. As we have demonstrated time and time again, we are a model community for raising awareness about this global issue and doing something about it. We dedicate numerous resources to help victims and provide residents the necessary tools to identify potential human trafficking situations and report them. And I'm proud to present this proclamation declaring January 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And it reads, whereas human trafficking is a crime that occurs throughout the United States and is prevalent in the state of Florida and local communities. Whereas According to the National Human Trafficking Resource Center, Florida ranks 3rd in the nation for the number of tip calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and whereas human trafficking, often referred to as modern-day slavery, exploits vulnerable people for forced labor, domestic servitude, or commercial sex operations by use of force, fraud, or coercion, and whereas the Florida Statewide Council on Human Trafficking was created to enhance the development and coordination of state and local law enforcement and social services responses to fight all forms of human trafficking and to support victims, and whereas the Commission's purpose is to establish through relationship building within the community educational programming opportunities for the public and key industries to recognize the indicators of human trafficking and learn to report suspected human trafficking, advocate strategies to aid rescued victims of human trafficking, and support local and statewide efforts to identify opportunities for positive impact and improved outcomes for victims and services providers through data collection, sharing, and analysis. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County, Florida, does hereby declare January 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Hillsborough County and encourages all residents and visitors to be vigilant in identifying and reporting human trafficking to send a strong message that Florida will not tolerate any form of human trafficking, executed this 15th day of January, 2025. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. John. Oops. Thank you. And Detective Aguilar, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Commission of Human Trafficking members, Commissioner Cameron Cepeda, Commissioner Miller, and other members of the board. We thank you for your funding so generously provided by the board to educate the public. Identifying the signs and reporting suspected human trafficking activity is so vital to the success of law enforcement's efforts. The Commission on Human Trafficking in Hillsborough County brings together a dedicated group of partners and community leaders, fostering cooperation between the county, the cities of Tampa and Temple Terrace, as well as several nonprofits working in the field. It is through partnerships like these that we as community can work towards protecting Hillsborough County's most vulnerable. Our partners in the court system, the Public Defender's Office, the State Attorney's Office, and the 13th Judicial Circuit Chief Justice and Administrator come together to hold accountable the perpetrators and aid the survivors of this terrible crime. Over the time I've been a member of the Commission, I've been impressed by the progress made and look forward to the day when our efforts to prevent trafficking of the most vulnerable means we see a reduction of the number of victims in our community. There remains many unmet needs for services, for things such as supportive housing, for trained foster parents, and for mental health treatment for those traumatized. The members of the Commission on Human Trafficking, thank you for recognizing our work to keep everyone in Hillsborough County safe. A safe community is one in which the most vulnerable are not only recognized, but supported. Your continued support helps to prevent individuals from falling victim to this crime in Hillsborough County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Detective Aguilar. And thank you, Chair Klug. And also want to thank all the members of the Commission and our partners for everything they do to stop this horrible crime and help victims become victors. And let's take a photo, please, right here at the podium.
Thank you, Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. Bonnie, you want to review the changes to the agenda?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. We have one off the agenda item. This is by Commissioner Miller. It is item F3. This is to receive a status report and update from staff on activities proposed to investigate historic stormwater flooding that occurred during the 2024 hurricane season. We have one item that has been deleted. It's item A52. This was due to a duplication. Award a 3-year non-competitive contract to Metropolitan Ministries for ongoing as-needed purchases of catered meals. We have one item that has been removed from consent for a separate vote. This has been removed by Commissioner Miller. It's item 811. This is to approve the agreement with the Greater Plant City Chamber of Commerce to support the provision of business technical assistance service program to the county residents for the period from October 1, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. We have one item that has been removed from consent for highlighting or commendation or announcement by Commissioner Wastel. It's item A8. This is to approve the filing of a notice of appeal appealing the Circuit Court's final judgment to the 2nd District Court of Appeal in the matter of Angelo Giambrone versus Hillsborough County. We have several items for time certain. The first one is item D1, it's 10 o'clock. This is to conduct a public hearing pertaining to the Code of Ethics for public officers and employees. Item F1 at 10:15 by Commissioner Cameron Cepeda is to receive an appearance by Charles Klug, Chair of the Commission on Human Trafficking, to report to the BOCC their accomplishments as required annually. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Item F2 by Commissioner Cohen at 10:30 is to receive a special appearance by Dr. Patrick Hu, President and CEO of Moffit Cancer Center, to provide a brief overview of Moffit and major initiatives in the works. 11:45 is recess for lunch. Those are the changes to the agenda.
Can we have a motion to approve the changes?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Meyer, second, Commissioner Cohen. Please record your vote on changes to the agenda.
Commissioner
Yes.
Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
All right, we'll go into the public comment portion of the agenda. The board welcomes comments from citizens about any issues or concerns, or your opinions are valued in terms of providing valuable input to board members. However, at the same time, it is requested when you address the board that comments are not directed personally against a commissioner or staff, but rather the issues. We've set aside 45 minutes for a public comment this morning. The chair will call on speakers by name in the order in which your name, in which your request to speak have been received. Each person will be given 3 minutes. Please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. The first 3 speakers this morning are Yamil Arante, Christopher Gentry, and then Josie Gentry. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jamel Arante. I am a Hillsborough County resident. I am an Army veteran, disabled veteran, and I am retired from Hillsborough County Public Schools through Florida Retirement System. I apologize for that. Yesterday at 2 p.m. I became aware that my roofing company could not pull my permit because there's a lock for the 33615 zip code, particularly in Zone A. For all the inhabitants of that area, they have put a blanket lock on all our properties. I was up here by 3 p.m. speaking to Michael in the permitting office immediately. For an hour, he could not help me or resolve the situation. The excuse was the FEMA 50-50 rule, which I totally understand, but the form was dated 11/2024 and was implemented in December and initiated in January. So it's, nobody in my area is even aware of this blanket lock in our communities and that we're unable to pull permits to fix our roofs. Let me give you a little bit of background. My home, it's a 1964 brick home built into Tampa Shores Imperial Key. I've been there 8 years come April. I bought it with a VA home loan. Because it is a VA home loan, I can never bankrupt, short sale, foreclose. I will owe this debt for the rest of my life as a student loan. Same similarity. Fortunately for me, After September 26th, Hurricane Helene, and October 9th, Hurricane Milton, I was able to get a hold of my flood insurance, my wind insurance, and the FEMA inspectors. Everything was done immediately. It did take a while to get the funding through, but finally we got funds coming in November. I sent them to my mortgage company, PNC. PNC, like many of the other mortgage companies, sees the federal funding, the insurance payments, and they put it into a special escrow account. You're only allowed to do draws, and the draws are based on improvements. My first improvement will be my roof. There was building material backlog, so my building material just came in. I didn't get to choose the color of my roof. I didn't get to even choose when the materials were gonna come in, but they're here now. I gave them $11,000 on my credit card. My PNC mortgage sent me $6,000. I then sent them the invoice that I still owe an additional $10,000 when the work is to be done this Thursday, if the permit was given. PNC sent me $13,000. You can see that I cannot ask for an entire permit for the entire house at one time. It is unfathomable that you have put blanket locks on the permits of 33615 Town and Country. It is predominantly being affected by Dana Shores, Sweetwater Cove, Bayport, Bay Cove, Tampa Shores, Imperial Keys, and any of the underlying Zone A, Zone AE type housing. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would think that it was a land grab for waterfront, but I don't want to think that way. I want to think that you guys are going to do your best to get me this roofing permit.
I believe Mr. Gormley over here is going to help address those, and Commissioner Wilster, I think, wants to make a comment also.
Yeah, just, ma'am, I want to say that I also had no idea that this had been done, and I will be working diligently against any efforts to prevent anybody in our community from repairing their home and working to get the federal government out of the households of Hillsborough County.
Okay,
So,
I'm supposed to have my roof done this week.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We got
He'll
to keep
help
moving.
you.
Adam Gormley over here will help address your needs. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Christopher Gentry, followed by Josie Gentry, and then Joanne O'Brien. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, Commissioners. My name is Chris Gentry. I'm a 14-year-old, 7th-generation Floridian. I'm here because my future and the future of millions of people is at stake. In my community, there's a plan to build houses, warehouses, and an entire new development on 3,000 acres of land that's dangerously polluted. This land used to be a phosphate mine and is now a Superfund site filled with over 20 million gallons of toxic sludge. For years, these poisons have been leaking into the Hawthorne Aquifer, the same aquifer that provides drinking water to Florida and neighboring states like Georgia, Louisiana, and Alabama. If this plan moves forward, it could poison the water that millions of people depend on to survive. Contaminated water will cause widespread environmental damage, put public health at risk, and will leave our community scrambling to fix the problem that could have been prevented. Now our leaders want to allow homes, business, and families to move onto this toxic land. The EPA has already said it is too dangerous that no one should spend more than 3 hours a day near it. Imagine what could happen if people lived there. Kids like me playing outside, families breathing in dust from construction filled with toxic particles. It's not just reckless, it's life-threatening. What's worse is that people in charge of making this decision. Our country leaders have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from the developers pushing this project. It feels like they've put profits over people's lives. I'm especially disappointed in Commissioner Joshua Wostel. My family supported him, believing he would stand up for what's right. I worked for 2 summers helping with flyers and signs. Now it feels like that trust was misplaced, and I regret helping him gain his position. This isn't just about my community. It's about protecting the water and health of millions of people across the multiple states. Once the aquifer is contaminated, there's no going back. I'm asking you to help us stop this before it's too late. Stand with us, speak out, and say no to putting families, workers, and water in harm's way to please landowners who knew what they were buying when they bought it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have Josie Gentry, followed by Joanne O'Brien, and then Denise Herndon. Good morning.
I have a visual experiment from our field technicians. My name is Josie Gentry, and I live in Valrico. I'm here today to address some items on your agenda, D01, and the proposed development of the EIP in Dover. Let me begin with this visual display, if I may. These rocks, which I've brought with me with Renee and collected, were on site by field technicians from the EIP park. They are radioactive and contain harmful metals and chemicals that do cause cancer. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, exposure to radiation levels should not exceed 3 hours, yet men and women who will be constructing this site will face prolonged exposure, as they are being required to sign health and safety waivers acknowledging these risks. Even more concerning, families who live and work and play on this contaminated ground will they be informed about the dangers lurking in their homes, restaurants, and workspaces? I have documentation that proves environmental restrictions and deed restrictions have not been lifted by the EPA. Right here, dated September of 2024, is from Teresa Pepe, the EPA personnel over the Superfund site. She says it very clearly that no environmental or institutional restrictions have been lifted for this property. They are trying to remove what we've already approved, the energy part, so that they can develop it more. There's been much talk about private property in these discussions, but where's that same energy and strategy when it comes to protecting local property owners? Have you forgotten about Michael Owens and his attempt to seize the private property island from young college students? Or how about how this board used eminent domain to encroach upon My Warrior's Place and the locals' veterans retreat? Not one of you showed any concern for private properties then. It seems your passion for this principle only extends to those who funnel hundreds of thousands of dollars into your campaigns and political action committees, such as the newly formed Friends of Josh Woschel PAC. This is politics at its most shameful. Every one of you, including the ever-present wall fixture Ken Hagan, plays a role in representing donors instead of people. It is laughable that ethics is even on the agenda today. Woschel may point fingers at Hagan, but he remains conveniently silent about his own dealings with those of Christine Miller and including their cozy dinners with the EIP investors. Lastly, I must say that watching Woschel over the past year has been nothing short of revolting. His ego and lack of regard for public interest are on full display, and I sincerely hope to see you replaced. Commissioners, you are not just deciding the fate of the development project, you are deciding whether the health and safety of your constituents means more to you than the deep pockets of your donors. The choice is yours, but so are the consequences. The people are watching, and we do have expectations. We help put you there. If you would like to see any of the EPA evidence,
Thank you, ma'am.
We do have it.
Appreciate your comments. Joanne
Violating
O'Brien,
EPA regulations.
Denise Herndon, and then LaToya Lovett. Mr. Bryan. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joanne O'Brien, 6916 Thrasher Drive, Tampa, 33610, District 3. I want to commend you, Commissioners. You're all doing the best you can. We're all in this together with this flooding. It's been horrendous since these last hurricanes with this climate change. It's here. It's not fake. East Lake Park had flooding, which we never had before. The weir and the ditches do need to be cleaned periodically, the culverts. And I could make a suggestion that maybe the county can get out there before hurricane season, start cleaning, and maybe probably save a little bit money if we can use some of the people from the jails to help do this that may be on work release programs. And I'm also considering a move to Valrico, to Feather Rock, because my house was so damaged, I can't live in it. I'm paying a mortgage on a house I can't live in, holes in the roof. It's been, insurer went bankrupt. I was living in my car for a while. I go different places. Wherever I rest my head is home right now. And these hurricanes, you know, have been horrendous on all of us. And we senior citizens are paying mortgages on houses we can't live in. And of course, we can't even afford to rent the place because we have people that come down here, outbid us, you know, and they're complaining about, you know, their high costs of flood insurance, but this is what's happening with climate change. But we have to be proactive and stop the building, the houses so close together. We don't have anything with our ecosystems being ruined because we're paving over all this stuff and the water has nowhere to go. So some changes need to be made in the county and all across America. I thank you for your time, and you all have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. O'Brien. Denise Herndon, followed by LaToya Levette, and then Penny Martin, which is virtual. Good morning.
Good morning. Denise Herndon. I've been a Hillsborough County resident for 32 years, in my current home for 25 years. At the last county commissioners meeting, or one of them somewhere, I mentioned about the flooding. There's detention and retention ponds. The lake that I live on, Gornto Lake, drains into Chapman, which drains into 10 Mile and then goes under 60 in front of Sam's Club. That flow near Just Love Coffee has been clogged up for a long time. I understand we had hurricanes and stuff, but just like the woman said before, we don't get storm drains clean, landscapers are blowing their stuff into the road. We need to be proactive. There's homeless people. Instead of putting them in jail for violating things, get them up cleaning our lands. It's garbage and everything that's going into our storm drains. It's just not hurricanes that's causing this. It's multiple things. And on the EIP, CPA 2315, you approved 10,000 homes this year to be constructed, and they haven't even begun. What's going to go on with that land there? Why can't we discharge our sinks and our bathtubs and our laundry into our own land and let only sewage go into the sewage so that when these storms do happen, you don't have to dump so much stuff into our waterways and in other places. The detention pond in front of Krispy Kreme on Gornto Lake in 60, sewage was being dumped into there. If you don't have so much water from the bathing and laundry and your sinks that's not going into our sewage, this can help. I understand that the place is growing, but your 100-year flood codes, your engineers aren't figuring out right. The building that was built a few years after I started living in my current home has always, their detention pond has always drained into a neighbor's home. With normal rainflow, not counting the flooding that's going on. Something needs to be done. And I hope this study that Black and Vector is doing takes all of this stuff into consideration, because it's not just hurricanes that's doing this. And I understand they've worked for Hillsborough County before, and I hope that they'll do the people the justice that needs to be done here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Herndon. LaToya Levette, followed by a Penny Martin, and then an Ashton Maddox. Good morning.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank Hillsborough County for the funding for high school UU, which is now the Aquila J. Morgan High School down in Waimama at 1712 Westlake Drive. I am the granddaughter of the late Miss Aquila Jackson Morgan, so our family would like to thank you all for the funding for this high school. We're ecstatic that this new high school that will open in fall 2025 will open for all children and families throughout Waimama. I'm also here to ask that I'd like to also extend a thank you to Jonah Katz and his team for the Bethune Park Revitalization Plan. I am just elated that the county is remembering Waimama for our historic families, our Black families, our white family, and our brown families, that the Waimama of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will always be remembered. We're hoping that we can go and grow, and we are ecstatic from the Morgan family as residents and landowners of Waimama that you continue to revitalize Waimama. So I just wanted to come here this morning to thank you all. You have it listed here as high school UU. It is Aquila J. Morgan High School as of September 5th. So thank you to Hillsborough Public Schools, as all of you. And that is all I have for you this morning. So I just wanted to come out and tell you thank you for remembering Waimama, Florida.
Thank you, Ms. Levitt.
For the record.
I'm sorry. My name is LaToya Levitt.
Appreciate your kind words. Penny Martin, followed by Ashton Maddox and George Neiman. Is Ms. Martin on the line virtually?
Yes. Hi, I'm Penny Martin. I want to address the EIP property in Durant. The 3,000 acres is under review for residential and commercial buildings on a former phosphate sludge mine with a toxic site that has chemicals of concern that are present. The FDEP must be involved before anything gets approved. This property was mined from 1930 to 1950 for phosphate. The Medard Park was also part of this plant. In the 1970s, the site was used for oil, automotive, and grease waste disposal. This land is located within the Surface Water Resource Protection Area also. In addition, the large parcel is wetland. We invited the county out to survey the land, and the maps show that it's primarily wetland. Imagine the flooding that would occur if these residential and commercial buildings were to be put out there. In 1982, the EPA added this site to the national priority list for toxic sites due to the hazardous levels of toxins. It's ranked 39th out of 100 in the U.S. In 87, the county identified an additional 15,000 cubic inches of waste buried next to the pits behind my home. In 1989, after this finding, this site was issued a record of decision. From 1997, the NAICS ruled that there will be no agricultural use of the land, residential, schools, hotels, or daycare facilities allowed. In March of 2013, the FDEP issued a declaration of restricted covenant against the Sydney mine land. In April of 2021, the EPA reports show now that there is presence of 111 trichloroethane, 1,4-dioxane, benzene, and other chemicals of concern. A complete ESA is required on this 3,000 acres before any changes are made. This, in turn, will help to avoid liability costs for remediation of contamination to our community. The toxic site wells were sampled again in January of 2024, and the report shows active toxins are still present. Some of the sampling wells weren't even accessible by the field staff. In April 2024, the radiation expert you recruited confirmed the radiation limits were above the acceptable limits also. The zip code I live in of 33527 has a 41.5% percentage of homes tested with elevated levels of radon. Imagine what would happen to the rest of us when this land gets stirred up. Soil and water delineation of the 1,4-dioxane is required prior to any proposed development. We've also had our local wells tested in 2024 and have found high levels of lead, arsenic, and other chemicals of concern. Over 1,000 residents have signed opposition petitions. HOA leaders are involved, and hundreds of citizens have written into the board with their concerns. It's getting national attention.
Thank you, Ms. Maddox.
Here are highly concerned.
Thank you, Ms. Martin.
It's on the local.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. We've got Ashton Maddox, followed by George Neiman, and then Yvette Neiman. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Ashton Maddox. I'm a Hillsborough County resident. I'm a USF student. It's my 6th time appearing for public comment, so it's my 6th time making an hour-and-a-half round trip. Just want to say that because it is far. But I'm here to reiterate the urgent need for a more sustainable energy future. As so many other people are here today, we want more sustainability within our county, and Hillsborough County is uniquely vulnerable to escalating impacts of climate change. Extreme weather events are no longer a distant threat. They are our reality, and as a student here in Hillsborough County, I've witnessed firsthand the disruption and devastation caused by these hurricanes. These experiences are not isolated events. They are a stark reminder of the urgent need for action to protect our community. And even through this, Our primary electricity provider, TECO, continues to prioritize fossil fuels as our source of energy. They are locking us into this dangerous and unsustainable path for them to profit off of. The soon-to-be proposed Hillsborough County Affordable Energy and Climate Plan offers a pathway to a more resilient future for our county. It gives a roadmap for transitioning to renewable energy sources, enhancing energy efficiency, and prioritizing the needs of our community to make us more resilient. This plan is not just about environmental protection. It's about ensuring the safety, well-being, and economic prosperity of our residents. I urge you, the commissioners, to prioritize this plan. The time for action is now, and we cannot afford to delay any longer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your comments. George Neiman, followed by Yvette Neiman, and then Renee Madison. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners, and good morning to the public. I'm glad everybody's paying attention. My name is George Neiman, and I live next to Ground Zero, the Energy Industrial Park. I'm also one of the leaders of the neighborhood coalition called Fix Hillsborough. And we represent a number, we've got a lot of community leaders and business owners, medical professionals that are part of our coalition. On Monday, the Public Commission voted to send the board a recommendation that the EIP amendment CPA 2315 was consistent with the comprehensive plan. Our neighborhood coalition of community leaders take issue with that assessment. I'll tell you why. Our team did our own review of the plan and found that the revised amendment, which was submitted, is still inconsistent with the goals and principles and objectives of the plan in over 30 places. The problem that occurs often with the Planning Commission is that their review is kind of cherry picking. We are seeing that that must be the case, in this instance, because they cherry picked. We submitted these documents. I don't know whether anybody reads them, but we submitted them to the Planning Commission and to this board. We've collected over 1,000 petitions in opposition, and more keep flowing in. If it keeps getting delayed, this project will hand in thousands more, because when people hear about it, they just say, you're not going to do this. So we're trying to educate the public. That's why we keep coming back here. I'm going to provide a thumb drive to the clerk with the petitions on it, and I'd like to have it entered into the record. I'm not going to give you the originals because, I'm sorry to say, I don't trust you. Not you individually, but things get lost. We've seen where people submit 100 letters, and then when the board gets a readout, they say there were 2 letters. So we don't want to take the chance. So I'm going to give a thumb drive to the county clerk, which I forgot to bring up, but I'm going to get it. So, and by the way, on the EIP, there's a restrictive covenant which says that they can't do agricultural use, but they have cattle grazing. Sometimes they come into our yards. They're grazing right on the toxic site, and then it's sold at market, and it ends up in the meat counter at Publix. This is insane.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yvette Neiman, then Renee Madison, and then Adrian Reyes. Good morning.
Sorry, I don't know how to work this Elmo. It sounds like Sesame Street to me, but whatever. Yvette Neiman, East Hillsborough. Good morning. I'm here today to express my opposition to CPA 2315. The Planning Commission has recommended that the EIP's proposal was consistent with Hillsborough County's long-range growth plan. It seems that the public comments from concerned citizens about the spread of contaminants if EIP is allowed to disturb and unearth that contaminated piece of land fell on deaf ears. This month happens to be Radon Awareness Month. Radon Awareness Month is observed in January each year to educate the public about the risks of radon gas, its health effects, and how to mitigate exposure. Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is produced from the decay of uranium in soil, rock, and water. It's colorless, odorless, and tasteless, making it difficult to detect without specialized testing. Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer after smoking. Prolonged exposure to high radon levels can significantly increase the risk of lung cancer. Construction, excavation, and other industrial processes disturb the earth, releasing radon that would otherwise remain trapped underground. Once released, radon can seep into the buildings, accumulating to dangerous levels, especially in closed spaces like homes, schools, and workplaces. Unfortunately, this exposure often goes unnoticed until it's too late, as radon-related health effects can take years to manifest. The grasslands in Oak Ridge neighborhoods in Lakeland, part of Polk County, have been the subject of environmental concerns due to their development on reclaimed phosphate mining land. Phosphate mining can enhance the levels of radioactive materials like uranium and radium in the soil, leading to increased gamma radiation and the potential for radon gas accumulation. Residents in these areas have reported elevated radiation levels, and legal actions have been taken against developers for allegedly failing to disclose these hazards. Do we really want a mess like this in Hillsborough County? I urge the Commission to reconsider this project and its potential long-term consequences. Economic development is important, but it should never come at the expense of our health and the safety of future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neiman. We got Renee Madison, then followed by Adrian Reyes, Alzat, and then Renee Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning. Renee Madison. I'm speaking in regards to CPA 2315 and 2406. December 11th, Mr. Brent Jones with Tetra Tech Environmental Operations Manager sent an email to Ms. Portia McCurdy, EPA Region 4 Remedial Project Manager, Superfund Emergency Management Division. Included were 11 others from the FDEP, Florida State Government, and Hillsborough County. Mr. Jones outlined 3 areas of high concern regarding the EIP and the 3,000 acres known as the Sydney Phosphate Mine. He referenced the 1989 endangerment assessment and the need for updated comprehensive studies to be performed throughout the entire property to delineate the following data gaps. Number 1, no ecological receptor studies have been conducted throughout the entire property. Number 2, delineate the extent of the spread of the 1,4-dioxane on the 2,655 acres outside the boundaries of the institutional control area. Number 3, no radiological contaminant studies have been performed throughout the 3,000 acres to quantify the extent of the radiological exposure to humans. In the 1989 assessment, CH2M Hill suggested radiological contamination as a risk and the need to identify the human risk exposure. A member of your board here today contacted consulting firm GHD. They conducted a formal radiological assessment associated with the property. They reported elevated levels at ground surface, similar to what our field services team reported. In this box are a group of rock tailings that have been gathered from the same spots that GHD did their surveys on. This is what the rocks look like. These are rock tailings, radioactive rock tailings. GHD further stated, a person could withstand a 3-hour period of radiological exposure at 400 CPM. It is important to note the multiplier for exposure to radiological contaminants. An individual typically spends more than 3 hours a day at work or in their homes. Calculations were done for an annual radiation exposure based on 3 hours a day on an annualized basis. This number far exceeded by 10 times what the FDEP considers safe for humans and is at risk for dramatically higher health concerns.
Thank you,
May
ma'am.
I read my last sentence?
Quickly.
Yes, sir. In conclusion, I am asking the BOCC to postpone any decisions regarding CPA 2315 and 2406 until Ms. McCurdy's team of professionals have concluded all their radiation and ecological assessments. Thank you.
Ma'am. Last two speakers, Adrian Reyes Alzad and Renee Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Adrian Reyes Alzate. I'm a Tampa resident and USF student, speaking here now for the third time to the Board of County Commissioners to ask you to alleviate the fossil fuel energy burden that continues to weigh down families within our county. TECO's monopolistic practice of needlessly raising energy prices on struggling families has gone on for far too long. It's clear that we need future-minded leadership from you commissioners to help our families in need. A shift to renewable energies is a must for our community. Renewable energy is affordable energy. TECO has committed by 2025 to reduce carbon dioxide emissions 60% below 2000 levels. We need public transparency on that progress on those sustainability goals that they set for themselves. The available information is far outdated. We need accurate, recent information. 2021 being the latest update is unacceptable. We deserve up-to-date information on the commitment that, again, they made to us. We didn't ask them to give them those numbers. They chose those numbers. They need to divest from fossil fuels. That's critical. Please pass and prioritize a Hillsborough County Affordable Energy and Climate Plan. The Hillsborough Affordable Energy Coalition is doing your guys' jobs in writing this, and we're drafting an ambitious plan so that we can have 100% clean and renewable energy by 2035. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. Last speaker this morning, Renee Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning. Renee Garcia. But yes, my name is Renee Garcia, and I am a current Hillsborough County resident, a Florida native, and a student. I'm very honored to stand in front of the Board of County Commissioners this morning to continue asking for more cleaner and renewable energy that will make our lives as Hillsborough County residents more easy. As a Florida native, we know that climate change is a very real issue, an issue that has been made worse by human activity in corporations such as TECO. For one, they have moved their new headquarters more inland to avoid rising sea levels. Secondly, they have placed an energy burden on residents of Hillsborough County. As a student myself, I cannot afford to pay these egregious utility bills on top of my rent and groceries. I'm sure many residents in Hillsborough County can relate to this, especially in this economy. Essentially, money has been tight lately, and what I have noticed is that looking into different forms of renewable energy has significantly made the lives of people living in different states and even counties easier by reducing the cost of their utilities bill. This dependency on non-renewable resources have placed, again, a burden on all of us, and it stresses me and a lot of our citizens out. And again, TECO has, and again, as the former speaker mentioned, has incentivized itself to reduce its carbon emissions to net zero by 2050. There is no transparency on that at the moment, and we would like to, again, incentivize this Board of County Commissioners to basically, do the work to actually get that information out for us, because again, we are doing the work for you guys. My proposition is, again, to pass affordable energy legislation that the Hillsborough County Coalition for Affordable Energy is writing up at the moment, and we are hoping to propose that very soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments. That closes the public comment portion of the agenda. We had one item removed for a separate vote by Commissioner Miller. It's A11. Does staff need to introduce anything there? Or?
I'll move the item.
Second.
Commissioner Miller, you have a comment?
I just wanted to note for the record that I'm abstaining from this vote because I'm still the sitting president and CEO of the chamber.
Okay, so we got a motion for A11 by Commissioner Cohen, second Commissioner Wilstel. Please record your vote.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Commissioner Miller abstained from the vote.
All right, then we have one item for highlighting by Commissioner Wostel, A8. Commissioner Wostel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to highlight this item to not confuse my affirmation and support of A8 as my non-support of people being able to take any personal actions possible to avoid the incestuous corruption and rather predatory nation of the pharmaceutical industry. My affirmation and highlighting of this item is in support for the great need for any institution and employer to be able to decide what is a safe and liable way to operate their organization, and I will move this item back to consent.
Okay, so can we have a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Wostel.
Second.
Commissioner Myers. Commissioner Cohen.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on Commissioner Wostel's comment. For perhaps slightly different reasons, I agree with his conclusion, and that is that I think that organizations have to be able to set the rules by which people work, but my vote shouldn't be implied anything beyond that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please record your vote on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, Bonnie, we got a few minutes for time certain.
We do. Commissioners, if it is approved, I would suggest you move item F1, which is the presentation of the Human Trafficking Commission, up from 10:15.
All right, so you want to waive the rules and take that up now?
Move for approval.
Second. Okay, we got a motion, Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Miller, to waive the rules, and we'll consider F1 at this time. Please record your vote.
Hey, good morning, Commissioners.
Motion
I feel
carries
like
7-0.
Ron Weaver is sitting in the front row here, my good friend, but I don't see him here today. So I'd like to thank everyone, especially the Board of County Commissioners, for creating this Commission on Human Trafficking and recognizing that January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month just a few minutes ago. In 2019, this board understood that a collaborative and community-wide effort was necessary to reach those most vulnerable to human trafficking, as well as the victims and survivors of human trafficking, and established the Hillsborough County Commission on Human Trafficking. Our commission is made up of 19 different members representing key leadership positions, professions, and segments of our community, including the Chief Judge of the 13th Judicial Circuit and the Court Administrator, the State Attorney and Public Defender, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and Chief of Police, representatives from Port Tampa Bay, Tampa International Airport, Visit Tampa Bay, the Hillsborough County School District, Plant City, and Temple Terrace, as well as representatives from various nonprofits, and most importantly, survivors of human trafficking. Our commission is focused on human trafficking awareness year-round, not just this month, in that I am here to report the board's key successes and future goals for this year. Thanks to the funding authorized by this Board of County Commissioners, our commission was able to accomplish the following achievements last year. One is we funded the Don't Buy at Tampa Bay campaign. This has been very successful, and in just the third quarter alone, we realized that building awareness was very successful, effective communicating how to notify authorities by the fact that we had 61.7 million impressions between July 1st and September 30th of 2024 alone, including 71,000 impressions from placements on WFLA.com. We have various members of our organization. The Tampa Police Department is one of those. They reported they received 24 reports through advertised text number. Three victims were recovered based on these reports. 5 cases remain open and 19 cases have been closed. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office human trafficking section detectives conducted numerous undercover operations for criminal activity involving human trafficking. With continued focus on detecting and deterring human trafficking, detectives arrested 22 subjects on human trafficking charges. 11 individuals were recovered as victims of human trafficking as well. Detectives continue to strengthen relationships with local non-governmental organizations such as Seal of Freedom, which is a member of our organization, and with One More Child to assist in providing victims of human trafficking with services to help them escape that lifestyle. Human trafficking section detectives also investigated 62 tips and complaints from various reporting entities. Law enforcement from Plant City and Temple Terrace are also members of our commission, and they respond to many calls, conduct operations, and assist victims and arrest perpetrators. The Human Trafficking Commission worked with the Crisis Center to provide the needs of victims of human trafficking, including providing clothing and hygiene supplies, and especially other resources for these people in need. There were 30 human trafficking assessments done, with 22 reporting that they experienced trauma or had trauma symptoms, and 18 requesting mental health and housing resources. As far as our future goals, in September 2024, the Commission on Human Trafficking held a strategy session with County Commission member Cameron Cepeda involved and participating, as well as a member of Commissioner Wastel's office in attendance. The members set forth a number of strategic plans, including the following goals and strategies: continuing training and education for law enforcement and the community at large, while implementing legal procedures and programs to assist victims; increasing service provider capacity and enhanced specialized advocacy; helping trafficked children by increasing system coordination in collaboration with trauma-informed services; increasing housing opportunities for both adults and children with a variety of options, including group homes, foster care, and supportive services; and supporting and expanding education opportunities and awareness to prevent human trafficking. We are exploring multiple ways to stamp out and prevent this scourge and help this heinous crime, and are working with our members and community partners to do so. For example, at Port Tampa Bay, we are working with Truckers Against Trafficking, the Department of Homeland Security, and Businesses Ending Slavery and Trafficking, or BEST, to distribute information on warning signs of human trafficking, bring public awareness by placing human trafficking posters, for instance, in our terminals and administrative buildings, and training and educating our employees on how to identify the signs of human trafficking. Many other organizations across the county are also doing the same thing. Today's proclamation helps create awareness and further educate the public about the evils of human trafficking. Human trafficking exists not only in our community, but across the nation and the world. Also, it isn't limited to sex trafficking. It includes indentured servants, migrant workers, and other people who are coerced or forced into work against their will. This is something that requires continuous and constant vigilance. If you see something, say something and report it. I appreciate everyone who has joined us here today, here in the audience. They stayed with us. In particular, I'd like to express those who are leaving our commission, including Julie Holt, the former public defender. And final, we'd like to thank the Board of County Commissioners again for your support in funding the Commission on Human Trafficking and all the work we've done this year. And I'm also here to answer any questions. Thanks.
Appreciate you being here, Mr. Klug. Thanks for your service, not only on the commission, but also at Port Tampa Bay. And Commissioner Wastel.
Thank you, Mr. Klug, for such an important role. And I see Hillsborough County's chief volunteer, Dottie Groover-Skipper, sitting behind you. So thank you for all of her efforts in this important category. I know a pretty good amount about, unfortunately, human trafficking is an industry. It's a cruel industry. It's an industry. And many victims of it, and I know this could be true in Hillsborough County, are often going to be undocumented individuals, particularly those because they know that they can prey on them because they won't be so apt to run to law enforcement. So in all of these efforts in marketing, all the placements, do we always offer something in Spanish? That's my question.
Yes, we understand our community service outreach does that as well, in both English and Spanish, and we're looking at other languages as well. And that's one of the things we looked at our strategy session, is how can we spread that message in various forms of communication.
Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
All right, I don't see anyone else in the queue, so again, thank you, Mr. Klug. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Hey, Bonnie.
We still have 2 minutes before 10 o'clock. We could move on to the item B1, the legislative agenda, if you'd like to do that?
Sure.
Okay, let's do item B1. This is to adopt and consider the proposed 2025 Hillsborough County State Legislative Program. and Cameron Pennant and Brandon Wagner are here for that item. And then after that, we have item B2, which is to consider the proposed 2025 to 27 Hillsborough County federal legislative program. With that, I'll turn it over to Cameron.
Good morning.
Good morning, County Commissioners, county staff, members of the public. For the record, Cameron Pennant, Director of Government Relations for Hillsborough County. On March 4th, 2025, the 2025 Florida legislative session will convene for the 60-day session, which should end on May 2nd, 2025. Every Florida legislative session is fast-paced and busy. As always, our office will send out weekly newsletters, daily session updates, and calendar notices during the 2025 Florida legislative session. And after the legislative session, our office will conclude. Upon that conclusion, we'll send out our final legislative session report. The 2025 state legislative agenda before you today is a list of priorities that we all discussed in our one-on-one meetings. The state legislative agenda was developed in consultation with the Board of County Commissioners and may only be amended by the Board of County Commissioners. Now I defer to you, the board, for your review of the 2025 state legislative agenda. Of note, our office requests approval to make any technical corrections to the legislative agenda. For instance, the final project proposal, our office requests permission to change the text for greater clarity.
All right, thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments?
Move for approval.
Got a motion, Commissioner Myers. Do we have a second? Second, Commissioner Cohen. Don't see anyone else in the queue. Please record your vote.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
B2.
And B2, we're going to turn that over to Digna Alvarez to go through the federal program.
Good morning, Digna.
Good morning, Commissioners. It is a great pleasure to be here. For the record, my name is Digna Alvarez, Director of Government Relations. I'd like to first recognize Senators Marco Rubio and Rick Scott, Representatives Kathy Castor, Vern Buchanan, Laura Lee, and their staff for their partnership on behalf of Hillsborough County. To that end, the 119th Congress convened on January 3rd, presenting new opportunities during the next 2 years for the legislative agenda. On January 20th, when President-elect Trump is sworn in, we will have a new administration, which will also usher in changes. And since this program was developed with the board and includes the priorities of the commissioners based on conversations with each office, only you have the authority to delete and/or amend the plan based on what policies and requests you feel are important. And like the state program, along with this, along the way, we will provide you with monthly updates on federal issues that may have a direct nexus to county government. We would also like to include that, like the state plan, we request that we would your approval to make any technical corrections to the legislative agenda. With that, I'd like to present the Hillsborough County Federal Plan for the 119th Congress for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions at this time.
All right, thank you. Can we have a motion on B2?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Myers, second, Commissioner Cohen. Please record your vote on B2.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Digna. We have a 10 o'clock time certain.
Yes, sir. We have one public hearing. This is pertaining to the Code of Ethics for public officers and employees, and Mary Helen Ferris will conduct the public hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Mary Helen Ferris. This should be pretty brief. This item is a proposed amendment to the Hillsborough County Code pertaining to the Code of Ethics. The amendment does two things. First, there was a change in state law via the constitutional amendment that increased the time to prohibit lobbying once you leave office from 2 to 6 years. So this ordinance merely mirrors what the state law did. The second change is when this was adopted originally in 1988, it by decades preceded the creation of the internal auditor. When we were doing the review that Commissioner Wostel brought this to our attention, we noticed that needed to be changed as well. So those are the only two changes that we are making.
All right, thank you. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak to this item? If we have a motion.
Move approval.
Motion, Commissioner Cohen.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Myers. Don't see anyone in the queue. Please record your vote on D1.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
Okay. Bonnie, next item.
Thank you. The next item is item B3. This is for design build services associated with the construction of the Fire Rescue Emergency Management Warehouse. And with that, Scott Stromer will present this item. Chief Doherty is here if you have any questions technically too.
Good morning. Again, Scott Stromer, Procurement Services. Item B3 is asking the board to select and award and execute an agreement with the highest ranked firm for the design build of a new fire rescue emergency management warehouse by Bandy's Construction at a cost of $25,016,390. Additionally, the recommended firm is committed to achieving the established disadvantaged business participation goal of at least 20%, which is very high. To let you know, over 9,000 vendors were solicited, 925 that are registered in our system locally here at Bonfire. We had 3,900 vendors that were solicited in Demand Star. We received 4 responses. The committee shortlisted to 3, which included Bandy's, which included WJ Architects, Master Consulting Engineers, and SGM Engineering, Core Construction, which included Wilder Architects and Horace Construction, and Register Construction, which included Lunds Group Architects and George F. Young. Core Construction did withdraw after shortlisting and prior to submitting a response to Step 2. They desired a little bit more collaboration coming up with the GMP, so they just decided to come out of that process. The Evaluation Committee did evaluate the responses and recommended Bandy. The Evaluation Committee included Tim Dudley from Emergency Management, Bill Hand from Capital Programs, Laura Singer from Facilities Management, and Mazur Yadzi from Capital Programs. With that, Procurement Services does recommend approval.
All right, do we have any questions or comments?
Move for approval.
Got a motion to approve, Commissioner Myers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Cohen. And before we vote, I just wanted to say one thing for the record. This is a very important project for the county. And for me personally, based on the significant challenges and issues that the county faced with Bandy's, with work on the new Tampa Performing Arts Center, I just want to put on the record, I have very little faith in their ability to deliver their project on time and at cost. So much so that they were the poster child for why I brought to the board changes on our procurement and RFP process that will make it easier and encourage more firms, particularly large construction firms, to bid on our work. The challenge is that, we have major projects such as this, and we have, 4 firms bid? And so I haven't asked to blackball them or anything like that. I'm not even asking to consider the second highest firm. But I just want to put it on the record, and I want to ensure moving forward that staff has enough number one, quality firms to consider, and that secondly, to the degree that they spread around the work. So I just wanted to put that on the record. But I'm not trying to stop it, but I felt compelled to say that. Commissioner Wostel?
Thank you. I do agree. 4 responses, probably points that I've said this in the past. I think I've gotten a letter from a business, a minority-owned business, who said that, our policies and regulations rival even Broward County, which is probably an indicator of why we get so few. But on those comments, I just want to say, did you say that one of the companies that applied to this was Horace Construction?
No, it was Core Construction was the primary. Within their family, it was Wilder Architects, I believe, and Horace Construction. Those were the 2. Because design build, remember that it's a group that is going forward with it. It's not just the primary.
Yeah, I'll be supporting the item. Thank you.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Please record your vote.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-1. Commissioner Hagan voted no.
All right, Bonnie, next item.
The next item is Commissioner Miller's item. This is item F3. This is to receive a status report and update from staff on the activities relating to the 2024 hurricane season. Greg Horwoodell is here, Kim Byer is here, and we also have representatives of Black and Beach. Josh Bellotti, unfortunately, is sick today.
Yes, he is.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Thank you, board members. My name is Greg Horwoodell. I'm Deputy County Administrator, and we will have some other folks. I just want to come up to talk about this in more detail. We are on the cusp of some very, very intensive work that is to be done in response to analyze the hurricane flooding that occurred last year. And I want to thank and commend Commissioner Miller for her leadership in bringing this forward, because, again, this is something the community absolutely is interested in. I know that we at the staff level and our consultant in particular are going to spend quite a number of hours over the next 6 months to bring forward to you a report and some recommendations on what could be done, what some of the issues are that we're facing at the staff level, whether that be with policy, with funding, with specific projects. We think it's important for you and the community to know what's important to help mitigate the type of flooding that we saw during the hurricane season last year. So with that, I will turn it over to Kim and to the consultant from Black and Beach.
Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kim Byer, Assistant County Administrator of Public Works. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. We're here to provide an update on the regional stormwater assessment currently being conducted by Black and Beach. Our presentation will cover 3 key areas today: the current status of the assessment, an overview of the tasks included in the assessment, and an outline of potential capital projects and policies that may be considered. Major objectives of this assessment is to evaluate cumulative flooding impacts from this unprecedented multiple storms that impacted the community in 2024, in addition to evaluating stormwater needs and developing conceptual recommendations. Now, this assessment will be broken into 2 phases. Phase 1 will include the task of data collection, review, and evaluation. Some of the data that they will be reviewing will be stormwater models, some of the service requests that were received throughout prior and during and even after the storm, in addition to stormwater operation and maintenance records. Secondly, there'll be a preliminary analysis of the Hurricane Milton conditions. And thirdly, stakeholder coordination and input. They'll be meeting with agencies and community engagements. Phase 2 of the assessment will begin in late March. The scope of this Phase 2 effort will be refined to match the priorities that emerge from the task outlined in Phase 1. This approach ensures that the resources are focused on the most critical issues highlighted by both data and community input. The status of the current activities: data collection has already begun. We've provided stormwater models, citizen request information to Black and Beach, and their review of that data will be completed at the end of January. There will also be a preliminary analysis of Hurricane Milton flooding. That's currently in process, and that should be completed by the end of March. Commissioner interviews will also be conducted. Those have been scheduled and will be completed by the week of January 27th. Stakeholder engagement is currently being scheduled. We're scheduling meetings with some of the city council members, in addition to Swift Mud and some of the City of Plant City folks. And those should be completed by February. We'll also have public engagement and community outreach events. Those are in the process of being scheduled and will be completed by the end of March. Some of the potential capital and policy considerations that may be brought to you as a result of this assessment would be capacity improvements that could include upsizing and providing additional stormwater pipes and culverts in flood-prone areas, in addition to flood storage improvements, which may mean enlarging some of our retention and detention ponds and adding additional pond or stormwater storage in flood-prone areas. There may be some considerations for new pump stations, in addition to enlarging some of the current pump stations we have. In addition, maintenance frequency may be considered. We may need to be maintaining some of the pumps, generators, even stormwater ditches more often. Development standards may be considered. Currently, our standard is 25-year, 24-hour storm event. There may be recommendations to increase that to 50-year, 100-year. In addition, stormwater funding may be considered for increasing it through the assessment process. This may be needed to fund some of the increased infrastructure and maintenance that may be recommended. And finally, interagency collaboration may be recommended by the consultant as a result of this assessment. That concludes our presentation. I'm here to answer any questions you may have, in addition to our Black and Beach consultants and our Technical Services Director, Leland Dykes.
Thank you for that presentation, Kim. Commissioner Wostel.
Thank you. Ms. Byers, I'm going to wait for the consultant on most of this stuff. I have an idea of what the outcome's going to be, but on the last thing that you said on the interagency cooperation, were there any situations that arose that Hillsborough County government was not able to effectively conduct its emergency management operations due to responses or lack thereof from one of the other inner-city agencies? And I've heard, I just want to confirm whether or not that actually happened at all.
So, Commissioner, I'm obviously not Kim, but I'll jump in and answer that question. I'm not aware of any specific instance, but if there's anything anecdotal that you've heard, when you have your conversation with the consultant, please outline those, because we want to get to the bottom of that. We know that there are some things, for example, that SwiftMud is responsible for doing as far as raising or lowering weirs to handle stormwater, and that may have resulted in some increased flow. But that is their permit authority. That is why they were created. We will dive into every single one of those issues that's brought forward. I want to make abundantly clear that we have told the consultant, and I'm sure that they can confirm this, this is an independent evaluation. We at the staff level are not trying to color their opinions or guide them in a certain way. They have unfettered access to our records and to really anyone else who's been participating in this process. So I expect there to be a full accounting of any circumstance. If there was something that precluded us from doing what we were supposed to be doing, or for example, if maintenance on a pump wasn't sufficient, then we will identify that and we will take action to correct that in future storms.
Okay. Well,
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, a nice beard, by the way. But
thank you.
I mean, this is Commissioner Miller's ship, so I'll just wait for what the results are. I was just curious, since it was said about interagencies, and I'm curious to see what the consultant said. So I appreciate it.
Yes, and we did make sure that we invited SwiftMud, EPC. There's a list of agencies, as you recall, from November 13th when we presented the proposed plan to you all, and you authorized us to move forward on that. If there are any others you think, any board member thinks that we need to be talking to, we want to know that, and we want to have our consultant talk with them and get the data that you are going to find important.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Cohen.
Commissioner, go ahead, please. This is your item, and I'll. Oh, excuse me. Did you?
I'm fine with whatever.
Oh, okay. I'll be brief. First of all, I want to thank you for this presentation. I believe this is exactly what the board asked for and was expecting, and I think we didn't know at the time that we decided to go in this direction that Black and Veatch was going to be the contractor that was going to handle this. But I will just say, I think Commissioner Wostel and I have had a lot of experience with them at Tampa Bay Water, and they are eminently qualified, and it gives me great comfort to know that they're doing it because I know they have the technical expertise to do it. I'm meeting with them on January 29th. I want people in the public to know, I've had a lot of public meetings, as have we all, about various different questions. I've asked people to submit information to my office. I'm going to be taking all of that to the consultants. It's going to primarily focus for me on the Pinecrest neighborhood and also some of the things that happened in Forest Hills, which is in the city of Tampa. And what I am particularly gratified by and what I see is that you're going to do some public engagement, because I think it's very important. People definitely want to express for themselves what they've been through and make sure that when the consultants do their work, they have the whole body of questions in front of them so that we can have a comprehensive report. So thank you. I'm looking forward to this work being done. I think all of us are.
Commissioner Miller?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the report and taking the time to prepare it and give us an update and the community an update. I know it's one of the #1 calls I'm still taking to my office as leading this charge. I want to be, I need some clarity around the public engagement portion. Like, who's going to be there? I was pretty specific in my request that we would be able to engage at the same time, because I think what happens is everybody gets to say, this is what my agency did. Right. And then the other agencies are not able to sort of directly address that. So can you just clarify what that public engagement is going to look like?
Yes, our intent is to have representatives from every agency so that if there are questions specific to that agency, then they can be directed toward those representatives. We want to make sure the public definitely has an opportunity, and we're not just talking one opportunity. Right. We're talking throughout the county and multiple opportunities throughout the county. We think it's incredibly important for people to see, as this board has directed us, to move forward on this as quickly as we can and as transparently as we can. That's our credo. That's what we're trying to do. We're going to make sure that if there's anything that you think we're missing, we want to talk with you about that, and we want to then pass that on to the consultant to fold that into the work program. So if there is anything that you think would be beneficial for your constituents in your part of the county, please let us know. Excuse me. I also want to make absolutely sure that while this is a countywide event, the entire county was affected. There are hot spots throughout the entire county that each and every one of you, specifically the district commissioners, but also the countywide reps, you know about. And we'll be talking with you directly about every one of those circumstances and try and make sure we catalog that and have a full accounting, as I said earlier, in the final report that we intend to have done before this next hurricane season. There's a lot of work to be done. We're ready to do it. We're anxious to get this done so that people can see what steps we need to take to mitigate this type of activity in the future.
Thank you. You just touched on my next point, and that was I appreciate the aggressive timeline so that we can hopefully have more detailed information to address these issues before hurricane season. So thank you very much for your report and for taking the time to update us.
And thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Myers?
I just have one on the community engagement. Will we post on the website the dates so that the public would know, and how we're going to do that outreach?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that the public would know that they can come in?
It will be full court press. We'll make sure that the press knows about it. We'll publicize every single one in every area so that people who have an interest can attend.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, don't see anyone else in the queue. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it, Kim, all your hard work. Bonnie, G1, is that the next item?
Yes, G1 is our last staff report, and this is to receive a report regarding the Bethune Park Master Plan in Waimama. And John Patrick will present this item, and he has various other staff members here if you have any questions regarding libraries or parks.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Miller, for bringing this item up to the board, and thank you, Commissioners, for your interest in this item as well. Commissioner, like I said, this was Commissioner Miller item that to present a staff report to this board in partnership with the Library Services, Parks and Recs, and Capital Programming. Directors of each of these departments are here for any questions, and I also have a consultant who worked on this project here as well. Just as to orient, everybody knows where Waimama is, and Bethune Park is in the center of Waimama. It's just north of 674 in Waimama. Zooming in close to what this project is, it's 11.5 acres property that the county is in possession of. It's a working park right now with a Boys and Girls Club, a covered basketball court, a small picnic shelter, and a old cannery building that's since not being used right now, I heard. A playground, and there was a senior center that has moved, and now that is being renovated to a library, a temporary library. And so the community is really excited about this. It's going to be opened mid-2025. As a brief history, Bethune Park has always been a community open space. There was a school, a Bethune Park school in the 1960s, and then there was a corner store also in that area in the 70s. So it has always been a community area. When we started this project, the first step was to create an interdepartmental working group that has worked diligently with us to provide us guidance to us and the consultants regarding this project, which included everyone that would be interested in this project, from real estate to capital programs to library services and parks, who would be taking on the mantle and working on this project in construction and maintenance of this project. So that was a very important part that helped us through this master planning process. During this whole last year, when we started off this project, we had robust public engagement. Here is a list of engagements that we had with the community. Large and small community-wide meetings, stakeholders, and small group meetings. One thing was very clear from starting going into this project. The community was excited about this temporary library coming in. In the meantime, we will be working on a more permanent library. So that was almost a given for the community that is going to happen at some point of time. So the question became, what else do you want on this park? It's a fixed 11.5 acre property, so not a whole lot can be done, but a lot can be done in this piece of parcel as well. So if the library goes in there, and what else do you want to see as improvements to this park? One thing I will zoom into just for you to see closely, we asked them to rank on what are the important things that you would like to see. Picnic area and family gathering spaces was one of the things. Splash pad, always a great hit with the community everywhere. Shaded trees and event spaces are some of the things that they asked for. So based on this input, and we went back and forth with the community. It's just not one time that we went to the community. We had multiple meetings, as I showed you in the list. So we came up with two concepts, concept A and concept B. We went to the community with these two concepts, and they pointed out several things that I think was enlightening for us as well to come up with the best design possible. The main difference between these two is the clustering of these buildings. We proposed to keep the Boys and Girls Club, that is a fairly new building, and the covered playground, which is actually really being used by the community. So we are saying we should keep those two. Where do we put the splash pad and parking area? And the library became the question. So those are the two concepts that we came up with. So I will zoom into concept one for a minute. This is something that the community brought up. Because we are clustering these buildings together, there are these pockets of spaces that is created inevitably. And some of the community members thought that pockets could lead to some unwanted activity in those areas. So that is one of the concerns that they brought. The other one that they brought as well was actually from the libraries department. That's why we had this interdepartment group, which we may not have heard or thought of. The proximity of the library to the splash pad. The last thing the library services need is wet kids running into the library, so we don't want that. So can we separate them, move that apart, those two uses apart? The third one was something that the community noted. We have two lots on the northeast side in red that is owned by the county. So should we have to use all of them for parking? Can we see other alternatives so that we can preserve at least one lot for something else, some community-related activity in that area? So we took all those things into consideration and came up with a preferred conceptual plan, where you have the distance between the splash pad and the library. We have, I'll show you some aerials probably, some renderings that will help. So this is the splash pad area and aerial view renderings, just to visualize. These were also presented to the public in our public meetings. So this is the splash pad area and aerial view, and this is another view of the splash pad area. Trees and shades, that's something that the community kept asking us to consider. Here you can see the splash pad from a different angle, a covered space for parents and others to sit while the kids are playing in the splash pad. A stage for performance, and they like the community like that. It's a multi-purpose area, so that's something that they liked. And here is a rendering of a library. That's not an architecture that we have decided, just to give a spatial view of how it could look in this area. Some other things that I just want to note is the central plaza that actually Commissioner Miller, and you had brought that up. It's a good observation, and I think we preserved that. Is a plaza of pedestrians with trees on both sides. That's something that the community would like, and it's an extension of 4th Street, basically. That is what that is going to be. That's something that we have preserved in this plan. All is good, nice pictures. How much does it cost? It costs about $43 million as a whole, $44 million in today's dollars. Most of that is going to be the library and the library infrastructure that is needed. It's about 60 to 70% of that is library, and the rest of it is parks. The good news in this project is we have a robust library ad valorem tax assessment. We have the funding. We will have the funding to build this new library. Even before the master plan was contemplated, the library services was looking at a library in this Waimama community. But this kind of cements where the location of this library is going to be. Park impact fees and some ad valorem taxes. As South County goes, park impact fees will increase, but again, there will be more need for parks, so that's going to be a little constrained. But the parks its implementation would be in phases and not at once. We have mobility fees that is also constrained because of the growth in South County, but that funding could be used for qualified roadway improvements. The lastly, I want to touch on the budgeted funds. We have about $1.495 million budgeted through the last budget process and appropriations. And we have that money to move forward, potentially move forward with the design of this project. So with that, I will wait for any questions you may have, Commissioners. It's a staff report.
Commissioner Woolston.
Thanks. The capital for, I had voiced this in our briefing about a splash pad. They're nice, but they have extraordinary maintenance long-term costs. And do we take those into account when we're accounting for, hey, here's the capital to build it, but far more expensive to maintain a splash pad than a normal asset to the community?
Absolutely. Every project has a capital and then the maintenance, ongoing maintenance. This is a master plan, so it is a high level look at this project from the capital side. And when each of these projects will come to you again, commissioners, as individual projects, like the library and the parks will come to you. At that time, we will have a more detail of what the maintenance, how many. We will do the engineering drawing, so we exactly know what's the cost and what does it take to maintain those things.
Okay, so that's not until later on. And I would just say for District 4, they had mobility fees on there, and you need every penny of those mobility fees for the 16 years of sidewalk backlog and 13 years of road maintenance and repaving backlog. So just a thought. Thank you.
Commissioner Miller?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for your comments, Commissioner Wistel. Thank you, John Patrick, for the report. I love a plan, and so it gives us an idea of where we're going and the very high-level overview. I especially appreciated your public engagement if we're going to be doing stuff in communities. I love that the communities are getting such a say, and I think it's an excellent plan. I look forward to seeing what it looks like in the next 4 to 8 years as I'm serving, and I look forward to helping your project move along. So thank you very much for your report. I appreciate your time today.
Commissioner Myers?
Thank you, Commissioner Miller, for bringing this forward. As I was sharing with PJ on yesterday, that I can remember back in the day going to Waimama in 1989, I was county staff, when we just had a small recreation facility. And when you look at this master plan of what it is today, it's a whole new transformation city in itself. But I want to go ahead and I yield to you, Commissioner Miller, because this was your project. But since we have funding for this project, I think we should go ahead and approve for the funding to get started on the projects that are there on this plan now.
What's the status of that, Bonnie?
These are preliminary drawings, and so I think it really, we need to give you better detail and give you the phases in which that would occur.
Okay, I'll hold off then. Thank you.
One thing I will say that it sounds very similar, and candidly, I'm unfamiliar with this project. It's not in my district, but it sounds very similar to a project I championed in Thonotosassa, where we are co-locating a new library and a park the same facility at the same location, and there's significant cost savings associated with this approach. And with that project and this, obviously, we benefit with a significant amount of the funding coming out of the library district's funding. So that will benefit with infrastructure and things like that. So sounds exciting, great project, fully support it, and look forward to working with everyone to make it a reality. So can we just have a motion to accept the report? Motion, Commissioner Miller. We have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Cohen. Please record your vote.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you,
sir.
Commissioners.
Bonnie.
Okay, our next item is item, guess there's a cheering fan for that, is item F2. This is to receive a special appearance by Dr. Patrick Hu from the President and CEO of Moffit Cancer Center. And this is our 10:30 item.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm Patrick Hu, CEO of Moffit Cancer Center, and we're just honored here to give you an update about Moffit. I want to thank all of you for allowing us this time. I want to thank Commissioner Cohen for arranging this visit here this morning. We, for many decades, have partnered with Hillsborough County to provide the best of cancer care. As you know, our mission is to prevent and cure cancer. So we really appreciate your support. Next slide, please. Yeah, and we offer you a visit anytime to one of our facilities. Here's Bonnie visiting us a few months ago at our newest hospital, Moffit McKinley Hospital. It's really important to have an outstanding cancer center, world-class cancer center in the area, and I'll tell you why. Next slide, please. This was originally, as you know, the vision. You can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Yeah, as you know, this was the vision of Ashley Moffit, who's here in the room with us today. 40 years ago, he wanted to bring incredible cancer care to the state of Florida, and he's done just that. Over the last 40 years, we've become one of the top cancer centers in the nation, really on many different metrics. We treat now over 600,000 patient visits, 90,000 unique patients a year and growing. And why is this important? It's because to get the best outcomes for cancer, you really have to understand the type of cancer someone has. Cancer, when someone says cancer, it's really thousands of different diseases. If someone says lung cancer now is divided into dozens of different specific kinds of lung cancer. And only if we molecularly type that do we know exactly the kind of therapy to produce the best outcome. Same thing for breast cancer. There are many kinds of breast cancer. So we find that in many places people don't get their lung cancer type, but it's very important to have that very specific type and to see a specific specialist. Like, I don't treat lung cancer, I treat melanoma. It starts in the skin, it goes throughout the body. That's all I treat. And if there's someone with breast cancer, I'll send it to our breast cancer specialist. But I know all of the latest, greatest therapies for melanoma. And so that specificity, along with the molecular analysis of the disease, is very important to provide the best outcomes. And that's why we have world-class outcomes. You just have to go to moffit.org/outcomes and you'll see it. We're the only cancer center in the world that puts our outcomes right out there on the website. Importantly, we're always trying to make that better through our research. We have 2,000 out of our 10,000 employees focused just on research. We put over $300 million a year in our research because we want to continue to use research to provide better outcomes for patients in the future. 10 years ago, my patients with melanoma that had spread throughout the body, 95% of them would die within a year. Now over half of them are living long lives because we've learned to stimulate the body's immune system against the cancer. I'm getting to know their kids. The kids are going through college. They're walking their daughters down the aisle. And I think we can do that for all the cancers, and that's what we're really focused on at Moffit Cancer Center. One area where we're specifically known for, next slide please, is our T-cell therapies. A T-cell, you can see these blue cells, and we have them, we all have them in the body, and they can go to the cancer cell. It's like David versus Goliath. They can do what I call the kiss of death when they recognize the cancer cell. They can secrete enzymes to poke holes in the cancer cells, and the cancer cell dies. When the green turns orange, that's when the cell is dead. And then that immune cell will go to another cancer cell, go to another cancer cell. And these immune cells can live in the body for decades. And this is why we feel that this kind of therapy can give patients what they want, a long-term durable response, essentially a cure, because the patients that I infused these cells into 10 years ago still have these cells around. They're still coming to my clinic, introducing their babies to me in clinic, and it's because these immune cells still surviving in their body. And we took a bet in 2003, before anyone had heard of this therapy, that this was going to be an important therapy. Senator Connie Mack helped us develop a whole T-cell therapy program, and we are now global leaders in this therapy. Next slide, please. This shows some of our global leadership. What we're doing now is taking the immune cells and putting specific genes into the immune cells so they can home in on the cancers. So for breast cancer, we'll put a breast cancer receptor gene in. For lymphoma, we'll put a lymphoma receptor gene in. And so this is not science fiction. We're doing it every day in our clinics, in our research clinics right now. We have companies like AstraZeneca, one of the top pharma companies in the world, coming to us with very special relationships because they're putting a big bet on T-cell therapy, and they know that we're leading this throughout the world. So we're really excited about the future of this. We're ready. It's already FDA approved for lymphomas, the heme tumors. We helped get a therapy called TIL therapy, FDA approved from our labs, now open at 80 sites throughout the world because it's FDA approved. So and that's in TIL therapy for melanoma. We hope to really get this kind of therapy approved and to have global influence for many kinds of cancers in the future. Next slide, please. All right, so now what we're trying to do is really continue to build out our system. We're trying to get the medicines closer to the patients. A lot of the regimens, you have to come in every day, and we don't want patients driving so far. A lot of times the patients might feel nauseated. They may not feel like driving an hour to get to us, and so we're trying to now build a system of campuses. We have one near the airport, our MIP campus, and we just most recently opened one in South Shore. Next slide, please. This is our world-class hospital that now has served thousands of patients. It's near Busch Gardens there on McKinley. This is the one that Bonnie toured a few months ago. Please let us know if you want a tour of this. We had the patients really help us design this. They said, hey, you know, we don't want to be disturbed at night. So where we bring in the sheets and the supplies is a totally separate way, and we don't have to go into the patient's rooms to restock that. That's just one of the examples of how this was a patient-centric hospital, already treated thousands of patients. Next slide, please. Now, one of the fastest growing places, this is at the port. We have an educational center at the port. We'd love for you to come visit. The Lightning helped us deck it out with a lot of educational screens for people to come through. Hopefully, a lot of the cruise traffic will make it through. And next slide. And finally, this was, we just had our grand opening last Friday, and thank you, Commissioner Miller, for coming to our grand opening. Really excited about one of the fastest growing areas in the county, in the Ruskin area, South Shore. Our first patient is scheduled to come in January 27th, and we estimate that about 2,000 patients a year will be served here, including the patients that are now driving far, but also new patients that will get better outcomes from Bradenton and other areas south driving up to this facility, even from Pinellas over into this facility. So we think it's going to be full very quickly, but it's important for us to get the medicines closer to the patients. And in addition, we're going to offer clinical trials here. That is often the best options for patients, is a clinical trial. The patients that I have that are alive now with advanced melanoma are the ones that I put on clinical trials of T-cell therapy a decade ago. And now they're here alive. Now, it's often you get the therapy over 10 years before it's FDA approved. So and we're going to offer that at all of these sites, our clinical trials. So again, next slide, please. I want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for your decades support of Moffit Cancer Center. We really couldn't do it without you. We felt extreme support and the wind at our back because of all of you, and you're really helping us save lives. We think our future is bright, and we're just getting started. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Very much appreciate your presentation. Mr. Moffit, do you want to say anything?
Well, I hope you don't regret this.
Well, I was thinking that when I called you up. I didn't know you're not shy. So.
No, as I was sitting here, I was thinking about the past 40 years of appearances before the county commission, for you and your predecessors. And we've never been denied help when we've come to you and asked for help. And to a large extent, our success over the years has been because of our partnership with the county and the support that you've given us over the years. So I'm here just to say thank you.
Well, we thank you, Mr. Moffit. Commissioner Cohen.
Thank you. And Mr. Moffit, thank you very much for your leadership over the many years in bringing this tremendous resource to our community. I wanted to, so many of us have been affected by cancer, so many of our families, And one of the things that we always want to do is get a message to people about prevention and how they can access resources and educational materials to help them make lifestyle and other adjustments. What does Moffit have available for people just to get information about what they can do and how they can access your services if they find that they have symptoms or suspicious activity that they want to get checked out?
Thank you, Commissioner. That was a great question. 30 to 40% of cancers are preventable in the first place, and a good number further are preventable if we can find them early. So it's really important to get this information to people. We have a lot of information. We have a whole world-class community outreach and engagement program that's working with a lot of the community centers to try to get this important information out. There are a number of things that we can do to prevent cancer. One thing is we're in the Sunshine State, so you should see me at the beach. I love the beach, but I look like a monk when I'm going to the beach because I'm always covered up, especially the hat that goes all the way around. That's very important. And then, of course, don't smoke. But if we do have smokers, what we don't want to do is shame the smokers. We want to embrace them and say, we know it's a hard habit to break. We're going to help you break the habit, but you should do a lung screening. So if you know any smokers, make sure they get a CAT scan. It takes about 20 seconds, and it's very fast, and we can find the lung cancers a lot earlier and cut them out and cure them. Just a couple of months ago, we unveiled our lung screening bus, and that will go driving around the county to try to get there. And if there are smokers, we will be able to do these quick scans to try to prevent the cancers. And if we detect an early cancer, we will then help to cut it out with much less morbidity for that cure. The other things is to, nutrition, avoid obesity, and all of those things to prevent cancer. Then there's breast cancer screening and colon cancer screening. Those are the major screens. Of course, HPV vaccines are very important, and cervical cancer screenings are important. But we have a whole list of educational materials. These are available at the Port location, our education center, but we can bring those out to any community area. We would love to bring out our lung bus. We have the Mole Patrol, which looks at moles that we go throughout the county for the Mole Patrol, do free skin screenings. And so just let us know if you need us to coordinate one of these in your areas.
Well, I think county facilities are an excellent place to distribute information and to interact with the public. So I think anything that you can do like that would be welcome, and we would love to see that. My final question, if people are having symptoms or they are experiencing things that are concerning to them, how do they get to you? Do they have to go through their primary physician, or is there a way to get to you directly?
They can just call us directly. We're really trying to get, we're working very hard. We have a very high demand, which is great. And so we're really working hard to increase our capacity. That's why we opened the center in South Shore. But we even opened a suspicion of cancer clinic. And so that is, if patients have a funny, sometimes you can't tell on a CAT scan or a chest, you get a chest x-ray because you're in a car accident or something, and you have a little fuzzy thing, does not clear if it's cancer, you can now come to our suspicion of cancer clinic, led by our thoracic group.
And that's on your main campus?
Yes.
That's on your main campus. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Woolstrom?
Thank you, Dr. Mr. Moffit. As you can tell, I avoid the beach and the sun. My 9-year-old recently told me that Daddy needed to get some melanin. I know that it's a really tough industry. As we're sitting here, the FDA just banned red dye 3, which for a long time has been known to be cancer causing, and they just finally acknowledged that and banned it in the United States. And you know, it's your industry that's left with the difficult challenge of dealing with a situation that others have created and promoted. Unfortunately, the owner of the LA Times is a famous cancer surgeon, actually. His name's Dr. Soon Xiong, and he recently came out and asking for dire help in banning a lot of these things that are known to cause cancer, because he recently treated for the first time in his career a 13-year-old that died of metastatic pancreatic cancer. It's tragic, and it's a worsening situation in America, which is creating the unfortunate dire need for people with your expertise, and I'm really grateful that we have you guys as an asset to the community. And so thank you for coming today.
Commissioner Miller?
Thank you for that. And it's challenging because we are seeing breast cancers and colon cancers in younger people. And we're not totally sure what's causing that. We think maybe the diet, maybe the microbiome, the bacteria that's in the gut. We have some hypotheses, but we're not totally sure, but we're clearly seeing it.
I'll be brief. I just wanted to say thank you for the report. Thank you for your facility in South County that's going to serve all of South County and even North Manatee. We're so grateful to have that resource. But I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Moffit for his time and personally touring me in the building. It was such a true moment for me that you had a vision and that a passion to make this happen. My dad was given less than a 0.5% chance of survival 23 years ago. And so thank you for the work that you do. You're saving lives, and I appreciate it very much. So thank you.
Yeah, in closing, I want to, first of all, thank Commissioner Cohen for bringing this forward. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. And Mr. Moffit, it's great to see you again. I know long time ago, you personally toured me around Moffit, and I want to say I'm very proud through the years to have championed many of the partnerships that you've referenced. You showed the McKinley photo. I remember speaking at the groundbreaking. God knows when that was, but long time ago. The years run together. But on a personal note, my father is one of the patients, thousands of patients that you treat at Moffit, most recently as yesterday, in fact. And so I just want to personally thank you for everything you do, for, all your work on specialized treatment and all your efforts to cure cancer. So from the heart, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time today.
Okay. Bonnie.
And thank you. And the Moffit folks know this too, because I am a Moffit patient as well. And so I have had the opportunity to be at multiple of the sites, and the care has been tremendous. So professionally and personally, thank you. And with that, we have future discussion items.
All right, do we have any future issues from commissioners? Going once, going twice. If not, we're adjourned.